I'm written or printed or illustrated. Sometimes I'm completely vacant, just waiting to be occupied by a body of work. I'm unique, but there are lots out there like me. I can be referred to by type or title, or I can be called by one noun, 4 letters. I'm a book. Sometimes I'm true and sometimes I'm not, but I'm old. Not all the time, just in general. And if you think I'm usually boring, then you've probably never even picked me up.
A book is several things. Number one, it's a beautiful object, and it will be something that a person could cherish forever and ever. Number two, it is magic.
A book to me, I guess it's a bit of an escape, comfort. I mean, it's something I remember sitting on my mother's lap when I was like 5 and having her read me Animorphs. And to this day I have them on my shelf and I just like open them up and it's her voice.
What is a book? Wow. It's an adventure, it's an escape, it's a doorway to the world. It's a lifeline. It's just everything.
After I'm bought or borrowed, lost and found or collected, I become one thing: used. Susan McDonald owns Cabin Fever.
My background is library. There's always that file and function of that. I went into the library world, and then a number of years ago, an opportunity presented itself to have a bookstore. We had been collecting millions of books, and there came a time when it was just necessary that we start something.
In a different part of the city, Susan Hansasak owns Sue's Book Nook.
It's my passion. I say often that I love books, which is true, and I love people, true, and I love talking to people about books, also true, but more than that, I absolutely adore the acquisition of books, but I cannot possibly keep them all. So I think it was because we love the books, right? Like, it's not, I never ran it like a business. I ran it like someone who likes books and likes to talk to people about books. So, we really tried to know the book you wanted and make sure if we couldn't have it on the shelf the day you came in, that we figured out where we could get it for you. Keep in touch with people, let them know their book came in, that kind of stuff. But just really try and figure out what the person is reading and why they're reading it and what they need to read next. And that's what we did.
Yeah, well, Sue printed me out this computer, I don't know how long ago, all the Debbie McCombers, and then as I buy them, I tick them off, and as I read them, I scratch them off.
Actually, I've been coming to this, shopping here for the past 9 years. I used to go to, junior high down the road, so I'd walk past here every day. And then Sue needed an employee, and I was here that day, and she's like, "Hey, want a job?" And I'm just like, "Sure, that'd be great."
It's a different experience to read a book, a tactile experience that your reader does not replace. So I think traditional book reading is going to be huge. No, I don't think books are going anywhere. I think it's once we made it possible for the entire population to own books, not just the rich people, there was no going back from that.
There will always be, I think, people who are collectors who want the hard copy book. I wish it weren't so, that we're losing quite a few people who like the traditional book. Sadly, I think we're in a period of time that is quite transitional. I think several people will just say they don't ever want to see another hard book again.
The future of the book is as different as many people that you ask. But asking who should care about the book seems to give only one answer.
Everybody.
And why?
Why? You know, it makes you ask questions.
Admittedly, there aren't too many teenagers. I remember Stu being surprised that I was in the store. Like, well, not wow, but like talking about it. And she's like, yeah, don't see too many teenagers in a bookstore. I was like, that is so wrong. So wrong.
Everybody. Every single person with a brain should care about books.
I still think bookstores there'll still be a couple, but I really don't think there will be many used bookstores. There might be like one or two in a city.
We will always have publishers, and we will always print books, and we will always have books. There's no, you know, there's no way it's going to go completely electronic. And even if it is, even if that for some reason they decide, let's save the world, let's not print anything on paper, let's make everything electronic, people are still going to write. People are still going to have stories to tell and information to communicate. There will always be books.
Instead of reading me, lots of people today read on technology. There's this thing called an e-book that acts as a portable bookshelf. And sales data from BookNet Canada says that value and volume of book sales were both down from 2010 to 2011. Each dropped nearly 11%, with fiction taking the hardest hit.
Actually, I know Sunday.
Right now, a proper system to track ebook sales isn't around, so the impact they have on print books cannot be determined.
Professionally, why I wasn't fond of them, obviously it makes it difficult for our industry to function as we have.
6 months from now, there's going to be a new reader, and it's going to cost you another $200. And you can't take those books and put them onto your new device.
With a print book, once I own it, it's mine. I have copyright and it's mine, and I can read it again as many times as I like, barring a house fire, it's mine forever. Whereas with the electronic books, from what I understand, you move from one reader to another, they don't work. You know, if you drop your thing in the puddle and it shorts out, they're gone.
Even like my mother uses an ebook, and I'm just like, I work at a used bookstore. The books are really cheap, cheaper than you're gonna buy them on your stupid electronic thing, and then you get to, you know, have the actual book in your hands.
Publishing industry statistics from last year revealed that 85% of publishers plan to produce ebooks along with print, while 10% of publishers will publish ebooks instead of print. The other 5% are unsure.
I can't imagine a world without books. I can't imagine not being able to exchange ideas and stories. Books help you think, you know, like you don't get the same thing out of a movie or a game, something like that. So if we want to raise a generation of people that can think and function well, they should be readers.
What should I read? That's a wonderful question, and a really hard one, because I have to know a little bit about the individual to make that decision.
You get all kinds of stuff like, oh, I was reading this book on the plane, I left it there, I don't remember the author, I don't remember the title, but this is what happens in the plot, can you help me? Oh yeah, my friend said I have to get this new book, it's really hot, that's all I know. And it's kind of a, yeah, so you have to be a detective.
So nobody's thinking of buying it at this point?
I don't actually know. I know she was talking to a couple of people, but she hasn't mentioned it, so
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Yeah, I haven't bid in.
A used bookstore owner needs to have a pretty good memory and judge of character. Now both Susans know a lot about finding the right book for the right person. What seems more difficult is finding the right person for the book.
And for people who are from parts of the world that don't have the advantages that we have, who can never leave that part of the world, if they can get a book and read about other places, other things, I mean, that's just amazing. So I just, it horrifies me when I hear that there's still illiteracy in Canada. Like, how can that possibly be that we would let that happen? You know? And closing my store now, I've just had a customer tell me that there's a school in this city that doesn't have a library. They're in a disadvantaged part of the city, and our board has allowed them to not have a library.
Anything I can help you buy?